We begin tonight with the wildfires that continue to ravage in Los Angeles. In all, 4 wildfires in the area have now consumed 62 square miles. For reference, that's an area larger than the entire city of San Francisco. At least 24 people have died, and dozens of others are still missing. We'll have more on the firefight in a few minutes.
But first, California playing as the home team here in Arizona tonight. The wildfires forcing the wild card playoff game between the LA Rams and the Minnesota Vikings to move to State Farm Stadium. The Cardinals pulling out all the stops to make Rams fans feel at home during this very difficult time. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Kariba Devine.
I'm Mark Curtis. Thousands of Rams fans made the trip to the Valley, turning it into a true home atmosphere, while also honoring the first responders on the front lines, braving the dangerous conditions.
12 News journalist Bianca Bono is joining us live from State Farm Stadium tonight. And Bianca, it was great to see all of these football fans coming together.
Yeah, Mark Caribe, good evening. Tonight was the perfect example of the power of sports and how a game can really bring people together during a time of tragedy. LA Rams fans tell me tonight they had a reason to cheer and to smile amid what has been such a heavy and heartbreaking time back at home. Fans of the Rams and the Vikings dancing together outside State Farm Stadium. Today, football is family.
We truly buy into that whole phrase, LA together, because there is a true sense of family or ramily, if you will, right now.
This game was supposed to be in Los Angeles, moving to Arizona due to the devastating wildfires raging across Southern California. The Cardinals organization and State Farm Stadium doing whatever they could to make Arizona feel like home.
Thank you to the Arizona Cardinals for, letting us here.
We're a big rivalry, but this is awesome.
Many of these fans meeting around 5 o'clock in the morning at SoFi Stadium, boarding dozens of buses, some of which were organized by Kelly Stafford, the wife of Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, ensuring Angelinos could come together for a distraction from the destruction.
The Rams making it and playing for us gives the city a little lift.
The heaviness at home not lost on those here.
We've all been hurting. One person hurt, we all hurt.
I got the opportunity to volunteer. It's been so overwhelming.
I have my Malibu sweatshirt on. We live there, so there are so many people that are at home suffering. And just to be able to have this in a moment, to be able to celebrate the Rams season, but also let the people back in LA know that we're thinking about them.
Heroes on the front lines of the fire, top of mind.
Prayers are probably the best thing that we can get right now.
And hopefully we can help the community by winning and giving them a little something to root for.
And in the end, the game proved to be a glimmer of hope for a community that's hurting.
LA here. We'll rebuild. We'll come back a lot stronger.
As these fans will now head home and back to reality, sports providing much needed solace for Southern California.
LA strong, California strong.
And I know the Cardinals and stadium staff worked very long hours the past few days to pull all of this off, and all of that hard work did not go unnoticed. And by the way, this is not the first time the Arizona Cardinals have stepped up in a situation like this. Back in 2003, they hosted a game for the then San Diego Chargers when San Diego was dealing with wildfires. Now, coming up later in sports, Jake Garcia will, of course, have highlights from this game and post-game reaction from the players as well. We're live at State Farm Stadium. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right, Bianca, thank you. Well, crews tonight are in a critical stage of their almost a week-long battle against the deadly Los Angeles County wildfires. The National Weather Service has issued an expanded warning about winds that could gust up to 70 miles per hour tonight. Right now, the Palisades fire, which is the largest of the fires, is just 14% contained. Meanwhile, investigators are still looking into possible causes for these deadly fires. Law enforcement sources tell NBC News that they're looking into whether the Palisades fire was human-caused. The sources say that they're looking at whether fireworks may have been involved or if unauthorized people were camping in the area that is frequented by hikers.
All right, back here at home, we have a weather impact alert as we head into another cold night across the state. Now, we say that, Linz, and there are people here for winter visitors, and they're going, you think this is cold?
I know.
Yeah, this is not cold at all.
I know this isn't terrible, but for the desert Southwest, it is cold. And because we're still amidst the growing season for the lower deserts, that's why we have that freeze warning that's in effect. Temperatures tonight falling off into the 20s and low 30s. So we do have a weather impact alert because of the temperatures tonight. Here's a look at those valley readings right now. In fact, we do have a couple 30s on the map in Chandler and Mesa, 43 degrees up at Saguaro Lake, 39 at Cave Creek. That freeze warning includes the whole valley, extending down through Pinal County and Pima County for tomorrow morning. We will see improving lows as we head into the middle of the week. But here's where we're headed tonight. 20s in Sun Lakes, Mesa, Queen Creek, and Buckeye, down to freezing in Levine. So it's a good idea to cover any tender plants that you may have outside. Weather impact alert through 9 a.m. tomorrow. That's when the freeze warning will come to an end. Highs will be in the 60s, and we'll see a midweek warm up. More on that in my full forecast.
All right, we'll see you then, Lindsay. Thank you. The FAA says that a United Airlines flight and a Delta Airlines flight had a close call mid-air on Saturday while they were approaching Sky Harbor Airport. The details are limited, but we do know that this happened around 11 in the morning on Saturday. The FAA says that pilots on board both aircrafts received an alert telling them that another plane was too close. Air traffic control also intervened and separated the planes. United Airlines released a statement to 12 News saying that the pilots acted immediately and landed safely, adding that they are working with the FAA on their investigation. Delta also released a statement saying that their crews extensively trained to handle uncommon scenarios such as this, adding that they followed the resolution advisory as directed.
Tonight, a Colorado man is behind bars after police say he stabbed a Phoenix flight attendant and killed her. It turns out he went on a murderous rampage that night. It was over the weekend in downtown Denver. Police say he killed 2 people and seriously injured 2 others. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra is in studio with us with the latest details on the investigation. And Gabby, it seems like everyone loved this woman. What more do we know?
Well, that woman was definitely adored by so many in the community and, of course, her family. But tonight we're learning the suspect, 24-year-old Elijah Cottle, had a criminal history and formerly served time in prison. The Denver police chief says Cottle was released without conditions this past November. A Colorado man accused of killing 2 people and injuring 2 others on a stabbing spree in downtown Denver was taken into custody more than 24 hours after his first attack. One of those victims was identified by family as 71-year-old Celinda Levno, a beloved American Airlines flight attendant, an avid animal lover, and an incredible musician. Levno is from Phoenix but happened to be exploring the 16th Street Mall on a layover Saturday night when police say she was attacked in a random act of violence.
It was so gory that, that was shocking.
A woman who asked not to be identified tells 12 News she heard Levno scream seconds after the stabbing, then rushed alongside several others to her side, trying to stop the bleeding.
She was not alone, that she'd had caring people that were very, very concerned with her through that whole process, and people were praying, as was I, over her.
Levno was stabbed in the throat. The paramedics and doctors could not save her life. The same suspect is accused of stabbing 2 other men along the same pedestrian corridor Saturday evening. Both victims are expected to survive.
We are both heartbroken for the folks who are suffering, and we also are deeply committed to the public knowing that this individual has been detained, is in custody. We will pursue all possible charges against him.
24-year-old Elijah Cottle now being held without bond on suspicion of first-degree murder of an at-risk elder, first-degree murder, and 2 counts of attempted murder. Denver Police Chief Ron Thomas says officers found Cottle after he allegedly stabbed and killed his 4th victim with a large butcher knife on Sunday night.
They saw the person running, then quickly identified that he had a knife in hand. He was captured very quickly, and it wasn't until after that occurred that we realized that we had someone that was stabbed.
Officials say this isn't Cottle's first run-in with the law. He served prison time in 2023 and was arrested again in January 2024. He spent 11 months behind bars before being released without conditions last November. Thomas says Cottle was not on the department's radar prior to this weekend.
Not someone that has a violent history, not someone that we would have been watchful for, certainly.
And despite the police chief saying there that the suspect did not have a violent history, our sister station in Denver uncovered some court documents that reveal Cottle was previously charged in a knife attack in 2021. Back then, he accepted a plea deal to a misdemeanor assault in the case. Meanwhile, a GoFundMe page was created here in Arizona to help Levno's loved ones pay for funeral expenses. We have a link to that on 12news.com. In studio, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
All right, Gabby, thanks. In what seems to be a sign of the times, the Cave Creek School Board is considering a plan to close 2 of its 5 elementary schools. Tonight, the board held a public meeting for input on the plan. The district is considering closing Lone Mountain Elementary and Desert Sun Academy because of declining enrollment. We caught up with a parent tonight at the meeting who has 2 kids at Lone Mountain. She says she's against the plan in part due to a lack of transparency over what the future looks like.
You buy into a school district because you want that small town community feel. You want to know that your kids are going to go to elementary school and then middle and then hopefully graduate with the same group of kids. And then to hear that they're closing the school without kind of a what's next, it's just concerning.
The board's expected to vote on the plan January 28th.
Governor Katie Hobbs revealed her top priorities for Arizona today in her annual State of the State speech. It comes as she enters her 3rd year in office facing a Republican-controlled legislature. And as 12 News journalist Bram Resnick reports, Hobbs and Republicans are far apart on 2 major issues entering the legislative session.
Katie Hobbs, Governor of the state of Arizona.
Katie Hobbs' Arizona Promise agenda starts at home.
The promise that through hard work and perseverance, you can build a good life for yourself and your family.
The Democratic governor wants to boost housing affordability, cut the cost of childcare, create paths to well-paying careers, and protect rural water supplies. The most urgent item on Hobbs' agenda is extending Prop 123. The $300 million a year funding stream for K-12 schools must be updated by the legislature and approved by voters before it expires in June.
Renewing it is essential.
But Republicans are in no hurry to renew Prop 123. They have different ideas than Hobbs.
We don't want to rush anything. We want to do things right. And we want to ensure that parents are at the table and they're the number ones when it comes to parental choice as well.
Another rift between Hobbs and Republicans. Border security means different things.
We must remain vigilant in protecting Arizonans from the cartels who seek to do us harm.
For Hobbs, border security means protecting Arizonans from the deadly scourge of fentanyl.
We'll work directly with Tom Homan and President Trump's administration and President Trump himself to make sure that we deport as many of the illegal criminals as possible.
To Republicans, border security makes Arizona a full partner in Donald Trump's plan for mass deportations. Bram Resnick, 12 News.
All right, Bram, thank you.